KCL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12682. Offices in Baton Rouge. Hunt and Hill. Hunt Palmer, Jeremy Hill, holding down the middle of the day. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. It's Hunt and Hill. Now on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome in, Hunt and Hill, on a football Friday from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio downtown in the capital city. I am Hunt Palmer. He is Hill, Jeremy Hill. Casey Gaines, Taylor Sharp back there on the ones and twos. Mr. Hill, how we doing?
I'm doing great because it's not Friday, it's Friday. I'm just in a great mood. I'm ready to watch my Tigers. I'm feeling good,
This
man.
is what makes this town so special. I just love fall Fridays. You can feel the buzz. I went up to campus today, got the tents out. You got the RVs start rolling in this afternoon, and there's just an energy about this place that is just a lot of fun, and more so when you've got a Southeastern Conference game, which we do tomorrow, 5 o'clock inside Tiger Stadium, LSU and Mississippi State. We are talking about that plenty today. Stefan Krosnick covers the Mississippi State Bulldogs for the Jackson Clarion Ledger. He'll be on in 15 minutes with us to talk about Mike Leach's Dogs. Go through the NFL slate at 1:30, SEC slate at 2. Of course, we got to talk Saints and Bucks as well. Big one inside the Dome at noon. We'll do some take it or leave it. And at the end of the show, our final picks for the Saints and the Tigers. So lock us in for the next 2 hours here on Hunt and Hill. We'll start with LSU and State. Jeremy, we've broken it down all week long, and I was interested to hear Brian Kelly yesterday in his press conference say that he thinks that obviously Michael Baskerville is going to play a ton in this game, and he said Harold Perkins is going to play a ton. You mentioned that earlier in the week. I said, man, this seems like a pretty tall order for a young player that's never seen anything like this, but they're obviously going to prioritize a lot of speed and getting guys out in space, and those guys do it.
Yeah, no, you got to have your best athletes that can play in space in this game. They're going to spread you out their entirety. You're not going to see any I formation. You're not going to see anything like that. They're going to be in shotgun spread out, and so you're going to have your most athletic guys who can tackle in space. And I know for this defense and this coaching staff, that was a huge cause for concern for them in week one is so many missed tackles. I know the quarterback caused a lot of that, but I think this week the receivers are going to be the big deal in that, and the running backs with the checkdowns and stuff, because they dump that little check down off a 4-yard, 3-yard pass. You miss a tackle, now it's a first down, and they're moving the sticks. And so it's going to be so important to tackle well because the ball's going to get out quick. I don't think they're going to be pushing the ball downfield that much. They will do that, but I think the majority of their offense is they're trying to get the ball out quick, get a lot of plays, control the time of the game, and really keep you off the field and really just dominate the yards per game, and then dominate the time of possession. So, yeah, you need guys who can play in space.
Let's flip to the offensive side of the ball here. We haven't talked a ton about LSU's offense this week going against this Mississippi State defense, and I feel like the two of us have kind of crossed a little bit because obviously you were kind of beating the drum for Nussmeier a little bit early, and we saw him struggle against Southern, quite frankly. And I thought Jaden Daniels did a nice job against Florida State. And then, again, I'm looking at last weekend, and you see guys running open. That first touchdown is hard for me to look at on tape because, he runs around everybody in a Southern jersey, and it looks great. And, man, maybe that works. Kayshawn is wide open in the end zone. And I just feel like that's got to be something that LSU leans on a little bit more heavily, the rhythmic passing game that we have not seen through 2 weeks. We've seen Jaden Daniels make plays with his feet, extend plays, get the ball down the field. We saw the tempo and the 2-minute drill and that kind of stuff work well. But just in terms of getting into a rhythm in the passing game, I feel like LSU needs to do that. You need to establish either the running game or the rhythm passing game to help yourself with time of possession. I know Mississippi State's going to possess the ball. If you go 3 and out a couple times, you're going to put your defense in a really bad spot. So I want the passing game to look a little bit more crisp on Saturday. That's my sincere hope.
Yeah, and for me, I want JD5 to take one little small page out of Joey B's book and take the whole approach like, F it, Jamar's down there somewhere. Yeah. Kayshawn's going to be down there. Just find him, look for him. He's got to get open. Like, none of these DBs can guard him one-on-one. Like, he's a matchup nightmare. And so for JD5, it's okay. Find your favorite target. Find Kayshawn. And I think the offense will run a lot smoother that way because, watching, especially early on last year, just how well Max and Kayshawn were rolling and getting things going. it's still the same Kayshawn. So I think for me, get Kayshawn going. You saw them do that last week. That was a big, priority for that offense. We need to get Kayshawn some touches. Let Kayshawn kind of start things off. Once he starts getting more attention, then now you get Besh one-on-one. Now you get BT one-on-one. Now you get Malik one-on-one, and then you can kind of open the offense up. So, yeah, I think for JD5, that's kind of what, I was, yelling to the top of the lungs before the season is that, yeah, he has the athletic ability, but so many guys are going to be wide open. And so if he can just cut that down a little bit and not turn the ball over, then I think the potential is there for JD.
I feel like we've always got an advantage, almost always, with our wide receivers out there in space. And I think that's the case again in this game. The question is, can the offensive line allow Jaden Daniels a little bit of time, and can Jaden Daniels identify what's going on and get the ball out there? That's the whole thing. You've got this strength out there. Can you make it happen? And I'm a little concerned about LSU's offensive line. Cam Young for them, great golfer on the PGA Tour, also very good defensive lineman for this Mississippi State team. He'll play at the nose. Nathan Pickering's done a really good job for them as well. Tyrus Wheat is from a Louisiana guy right here. Those three guys, along with Jordan Davis and Jaden Carmundi, probably is not going to play, but Randy Charlton, it's a pretty good defensive front. And if they win a lot against LSU's offensive line, it's going to be a long day. Now, if LSU's offensive line can just hold up, it'll be good. And this is the exact same conversation we had entering Florida State. And quite frankly, the offensive line didn't hold up. And that's why in the first half, LSU's offense was non-existent. They got to do a better job. And if they can do that, LSU becomes the better unit on the field. If you win up front, and then you start going with your athletic quarterback and great wide receivers, like all of a sudden you have a huge advantage. Yep. You just got to get there.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest X factor to me in this game, the matchup with Mississippi State's defensive line. I think it's got to control the defense too, because the last thing you want for this Mississippi State offense to do is go on one of those big 10-minute drives where they just dink and dunk you all day long, score a touchdown at the end of it. And last year I think you did a great job making them kick field goals. Can't let them get in the end zone. So if you're LSU on offense, you got to get control of the game. You don't want that Mississippi State offense out there all day. You got to get a run game going. You got to win the battle up front. If you can control those guys and keep JD5 clean, he's going to use his legs when he has to. I think you got an avenue to win that football game. It's got to be up to the offensive line to really hold it down.
We're going to talk to Stefan Krosnick here in 10 minutes about this Mississippi State team and hit on a couple things. But one thing that is certainly worth looking at, they missed 2 extra points last week. They had a grease fire at kicker last year as well. It was awful. Mike Leach was trying guys out, students out, during the middle of the week, and he kind of stopped kicking field goals at a certain point, and kind of like Ed Ogeron did early in his career because they just couldn't figure it out before Cole Tracy showed up. That is a big storyline because this game is likely to be pretty close, and if you can't cash in on some field goals like LSU couldn't against Florida State, and we don't know about that unit to this point, Mississippi State's kind of in the same boat there. So that's a big storyline that we have not touched on at all this week.
Yeah, no, that's huge. And I think especially for them on the road, I think especially if you're missing stuff, at home or whatever, but if you're missing kicks and you're in a hostile environment, it makes that momentum crazy. And then now you're giving the other team great field position. And then for LSU, that's something you're going to have to take advantage of. And I think, for me, I think if they can control him on third down, I think third down is going to be so huge. The Florida State game, you got destroyed on third down. You got to get off the field on third down. Make them try to take those field goal attempts. They may miss it. If they do, you're going to get a short field. So, yeah, I think for LSU, that's something that you can look at and feel like you got the advantage in.
It's this offense does thrive in space. Mississippi State's does. And naturally, once you get into the red zone, that space shrinks a little bit, and maybe there's a little bit more of a crowd around the football and those crossing routes and things. They just get a little bit more congested than they are when you've got the entire field to operate with and work. And at that point, sometimes it bogs down. Mississippi State did move the ball in LSU a little bit last year, but they bogged down in the red zone, and that's why they didn't score a lot until late in the game when they put 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter in the last 7 minutes of the game. If that's the case again in this game and they're struggling with field goals, like you could see, 10-point swings. If all of a sudden you think you're going down for 7 and then you settle for 3 and miss it, I mean, that's a big deal. And so it's certainly something to watch and not something that we've touched on in this game. So Stefan Krosnick will be with us here in about 5 minutes to talk about it from the Jackson Clarion Ledger. Remind you that our opening hour each and every Friday brought to you by Angel Oak Home Loans. Contact our guy Ryan Schimpf at Angel Oak Home Loans. Looking to refi or buy a new home, trying to get a loan, Ryan Schimpf can help you out with Angel Oak Home Loans. Our schedule for tomorrow, I want to clarify that for you. 5 o'clock kickoff inside Tiger Stadium. It's a weird start time. We don't play a lot of 5 o'clock games. That means at noon, Eagle 98.1 Game Day will be on from Rouse's on Burbank. That is Charles Hannegriff and Matt Musso coming on at noon. I will take over on the LSU Sports Radio Network at 3 o'clock, 2 hours before kickoff. We'll be in the TJ Ribbs Tiger One Village, right between the ramps of the PMAC, right off Victory Hill. We'll go from 3 o'clock to 4:30. That's when we'll toss it into the broadcast team of Gordy Rush, Doug Morrow, and Chris Blair. They'll give you the call of the game 30 minutes after it goes final. We are back on. Marlon Favorite, Brandon Taylor, and myself will be on the Fighting Tiger post-game show for about an hour, and then 90 minutes after it goes final, Charles Hannegriff and Jeremy Hill with Eagle 98.1 Game Day from right here in the studio. So that is a full day of broadcasting cranking up at noon o'clock for LSU and Mississippi State. This is a huge, huge game for both teams. LSU trying to get off on the right foot in conference play, trying to win a game against Mississippi State. I like Mississippi State as the first conference game. It's just Mississippi State's got a good team this year, but it's not like Bama. It's not like Georgia. It's not just I think Arkansas is better than them right now. It's a tough opponent, but it's not the toughest opponent you're going to face. It's a nice kind of ease in. What did Mississippi State mean when you were playing?
A joke.
Yeah.
Never looked at them that way.
Yep.
Like it was just a team that you just felt like you were just better. We just better top, bottom, down. We really ran our stuff. Not like we had to go crazy game plan wise. Hey guys, we're just gonna run top power left, we're gonna run a little toss dive right, and just go win. Like that's just what it was. It wasn't anything super complex. So I think now that dynamic has changed, especially for both Mississippi schools. I would say I think Mississippi State now. You go into any week, they can win. And I think that's just totally not the case when we played them. I think we almost scored 60 on them when 2013 or something.
2013, they couldn't stop it. It just wasn't going to happen. I was on the field that night. Look, it's what I was talking about all summer. When you start talking about record predictions for a season, I can't go find the layups. They don't exist in the league right now unless you go play Vanderbilt. So Missouri's not very good either, but and we don't play either one of those this year. So it makes the entire season more difficult, and it starts on Saturday. But it's going to be an awesome environment on campus. Should be a great environment in the stadium. I asked Matt House today. I said, how much can the crowd matter in this game? He said, a ton. Anytime you can take the verbal cues away from them and make them use hand signals, you create potential miscommunications, and it takes longer. So they've got to go a little bit more quickly, and we can set up and identify things. So big deal for the crowd tomorrow. It should be a really, really good one. It should be a fun night inside Tiger Stadium. Very much looking forward to that. We're talking about the NFL slate coming up at 1:30. SEC football at 2 o'clock. Saints-Bucks still to come. Take it or leave it, our final picks. But next, we're going to go to the phone line. Stefan Krosnick covers Mississippi State for the Clarion Ledger. He will jump aboard next. It's Hunt and Hill.
Hunt Palmer and Jeremy Hill. It's Hunt and Hill.
Bayou Ford, check out the inventory, BayouFord.com. Right there, big bold letters when you go to BayouFord.com. Don't settle. You don't need to settle. Every car lot's not full of vehicles at this point, so exactly what you're looking for may not be on anybody's lot, but Bayou Ford can customize it for you, and they do it all the time. 75% of the people that buy cars from Bayou Ford customize them. 50% never set foot on the lot. It's because they'll have a delivery driver just drive your vehicle right to your home if you want to. So give Ben Gagne and the crew down there at Bayou Ford a call, or check out the website at BayouFord.com. Let them customize a vehicle for you. They can turn it around in 60 to 90 days.
Yeah, head over to BayouFord.com. They have the all-new 2022 Ford Expedition Timberline. It has a Ready Lift 3 kit on there. Also, all-new 2021 Ford F-150s. They're getting $14,000 off MSRP, including the Black Widow edition.
And every new purchase at Bayou Ford, million-mile power-trained warranty. Check all the inventory out at BayouFord.com. Bayou Ford, they're going to do right by you.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app, and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free, and you pay the same price for groceries as in store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shoppa style.
Oh, yeah.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Jimmy, on this Sunday, it's our 2022 season debut, Football Sunday. Magnolia Bluffs, Football Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon, every Sunday, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Football Friday here, Hunt and Hill. Lunch hour brought to you by Angel Oak Home Loans. We head out to the phone lines now. Stefan Krosnick covers the Mississippi State Bulldogs for the Jackson Clarion Ledger. He joins us now. Stefan, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. I trust your travels from the Valley of the Sun were a little bit smoother than Mississippi State's. Can you clue us in on what went on Saturday night into Sunday for the Bulldogs?
Yeah, it was a long night for the Bulldogs. They they made their trip from Tucson. They went straight after the game. Got on a plane and headed back to Starkville, and didn't get back until about 10 a.m. Sunday morning. So they went through the night, and I guess there was just some issues with the planes and all that kind of stuff, which seems to happen all the time if you travel frequently. And Leach kind of made it sound like on Monday that they landed around 10 a.m. and, some people maybe slept on the plane, some didn't. So it was like about 4 p.m. when most people got their wake-up call and started heading to practice, because Mississippi State doesn't use their off day on Sunday. They practice on Sunday night. So it was definitely a long day for Mississippi State, and maybe took a little extra recovery than they expected.
Mike Leach usually doesn't pull any punches. He kind of tells you what he thinks. Memphis and Arizona, probably not going to win the national championship, but not pushovers either. And Mississippi State's kind of dominated both games. What do you think Mike Leach thinks of his team through 2 games?
Yeah, Leach will, like you said, he says it like it is, and he's admitted that there was times, and you look at the scores. I mean, the average margin of victory is like 24 through 2 games, but there was a lot of mistakes that they had, and he's felt like it's a group that's gotten better each week through practices and obviously through both games that they've played. But obviously has a lot of room to grow. He talks a lot about how it's a team with experience, because when he came in, they played more true freshmen than they probably, intended on doing. So it's a team that has a ton of experience, but not a lot of seniors on it. So he calls it an experienced group and not necessarily an old group. So there's still some room for improvement. And that for Mississippi State fans has been exciting, because if you're, playing, like you said, too, not great, but quality non-conference opponents, and you're winning by that margin of victory, and you still haven't played your best football, that's going to cause some excitement.
We all know how important Will Rogers is to that Mississippi offense, but if you had to pick an X factor outside of him in this LSU game who has to have a big-time game, who would that be for Mississippi State? Yeah,
offensively, I would say it all kind of starts with left guard Travis Johnson, if he's playing well and he's kind of taking the role of stepping in for Charles Cross and has done a good job. LSU fans might remember him from playing right guard. He's moved over to left tackle, and everyone was kind of curious to see what it would be like when Will Rogers didn't have a top 10 NFL draft pick blocking on his blind side, and Johnson's done a good job in that role. They call him Dollar Bill. You might even refer to as Dollar Bill on the broadcast. So keep an eye on him at left tackle and how he's kind of able to hang up against formidable defensive front that LSU has. Defensively, a guy like Nathaniel Watson. I know Brian Kelly hyped up Tyrus Wheat a lot, and that's a guy that'll be fun to watch. But Nathaniel Watson, I think he's going to have that role of kind of spying on Jaden Daniels a bit and keeping his eyes on him. So, particularly against this LSU team, as far as Nathaniel Watson goes, I think that's how far this Mississippi State defense can go.
Stefan Krosnick covers Mississippi State for the Jackson Clarion Ledger. He's our guest here on Hunt and Hill. We know Will Rogers. We've seen him for 2 years. We understand he's operated this offense at a high level. What are the playmakers like around him?
Yeah, they're a lot deeper at receiver than they've been in years past. They have, 2, sometimes 3 formidable guys at each of those 4 receiver spots. So they've developed some depth and they've done a really good job, replacing a guy like Mekhi Polk, who had 100-plus catches last year, set the program single-season record. And Caleb Ducking's been the one to take his spot. Has the frame and everything, to be a quality receiver there on the outside, and has really started to put it together this year. Has 3 touchdowns through those first 2 games. So the playmakers are there. The running backs are the same. They've been the last couple of years with Jaquavius Marks and Dylan Johnson. So it's a group that really, it's so important that all the skill players understand their specific role, within the air raid offense. And that's been a reason why, through this experience that they've built, that those receivers have developed, because they have really started to master this air raid offense. And as you mentioned, a lot of that starts with Will Rogers. But when you got the playmakers who do it well and run their routes efficiently and know where they need to be on every given play, it's made a huge jump this year offensively.
Around here, everybody just kind of defaults to, well, you just drop 8 against the air raid offense. So you obviously didn't do that 2 years ago and got carved up record-setting style. Is that what you've seen from Memphis and Arizona? They just kind of drop everybody and let Will Rogers work underneath?
Yeah, they've seen a bit of that, and obviously that's no surprise. And Mississippi State, in the first half of games, has actually run the ball really well. They've got some impressive. They have more rushing touchdowns this year than I think it's Bama and A&M and Kentucky. I think State has more rushing touchdowns than all those teams. So it's been interesting to see, Will Rogers make some checks at the line, and even Mike Leach in his play call, not be too stubborn to avoid the run early in games. So I'm interested to see if what Brian Kelly decides to do. If you drop 8 immediately, that lets State establish a little bit of that run game and maybe draws you in a bit. Obviously we've seen the numbers that State put up when, Orgeron tried to run some man coverage against Mississippi State. That doesn't really work. So I'm really interested to see, what kind of different looks Brian Kelly is really ready to present. Because if you're too stuck on playing one scheme defensively, Will Rogers will find a way to tear that up a bit.
For a Mississippi State fan, obviously here in Baton Rouge, we're expected to win a national championship, just dominate the SEC. But for Mississippi State and their fan base, what would you say their expectations are for this football program for the season?
Yeah, I think the expectations at this point are easily to get 8 or 9 wins. Leach, throughout his tenures at Texas Tech and Washington State, it's about year 3 or year 4 where that next jump is made. And State went from 4 wins to 7 wins last season, but they kind of ended the season losing the Egg Bowl and losing the Liberty Bowl, so it left a bit of a sour taste, to how that season is remembered. And I think now, with all the pieces here and a lot of the players, having played together, this experience, the expectations are 8 or 9 wins. And, you'll find the occasional fan around here who thinks that, those games against A&M or maybe even when Georgia comes to Starkville in November are games where, they expect State to at least compete, if not win. Not be a team that's necessarily going against, those juggernauts and just getting blown out. So the expectations are pretty high, in year 3 under Leach. And I think Mississippi State being a 2-point favorite going into this environment in Baton Rouge, I think is probably a testament to, how good Vegas and some fans here think this team can be.
Stefan, we spent the last segment talking about the guys up front on the Mississippi State defense, whether it's Cam Young, Nathan Pickering, Tyrus Wheat, Jet Johnson. If LSU loses at the line of scrimmage, against those guys, it's going to be a long, long day. Hypothetically, if LSU's offensive line is able to hold up, that's where LSU's strength is now on the outside with Kayshon Boutte and Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors and Jack Bash and those guys. What is the Mississippi State secondary like? Do you think they can run with those guys for 4 quarters?
Yeah, I think that would be if State isn't getting pressure and isn't bringing Daniels down. I think that's where there's going to be issues. The opportunities could be there for Daniels to make some plays with his arm, and I think he's going to have to in order for LSU to take down Mississippi State. The secondary isn't bad, but we've seen throughout the past few years that if they're not getting pressure up front and the quarterback's having time, and like you said, some of these quality receivers that LSU has, if they have time to find space, I think that's where the secondary is flawed. They can hang on to a guy for a little bit, but if the play, extends and goes on too long, guys like Colin Duncan in the secondary have shown that they can be faulty at times. So that's where it's going to be for LSU. It's all going to have to be up front. If they can slow down this front six, especially like those guys that you mentioned there, I think that's where LSU's offense, I should say, has a real chance to put up some numbers on this defense.
Tell us about the kicking game for Mississippi State. I know it was a bit of an issue last year, and it appears it was a bit of an issue last week.
Yeah, to call it an issue last year would probably be an understatement. It's when Mike Leach goes on a post-game press conference, and the first thing he says is that they're having an open tryout for kickers. That's probably a testament that things are not going too well. They went out and got a couple guys from the portal, tried to address that position. And last week, their starting kicker, Massimo Biscardi, missed the first 2 extra points that Mississippi State had, which it's really weird. In his career, he's missed 11 extra points and he's missed 11 field goals. So those are not numbers that are supposed to be equal. So for some reason, he's just been bad in his career at extra points. And luckily, a guy that Mississippi State also got in the portal and from Northern Colorado, and Ben Raybon kind of stepped in and was 3 for 3 on kicks and 2 for 2 on extra points, or maybe flip those numbers around, and was 8 for 8 on getting touchbacks on kickoffs. So he seems to have stepped in and done a good job. And, that's one thing that Mike Leach wanted was, hey, if we have some struggles at kicker, at least we have a backup or 2 that maybe can step in. And that's been the case. He hasn't called. Monday I asked him if Raybon's going to be the starter moving forward. He said, they'll see how things go in practice. But I'd expect Raybon to be the guy, at least in this LSU game, that Mississippi State turns to. And, there's some pressure on that spot, after the struggles last year and, knowing what this offense can do, there's some pressure for Mississippi State to have some success at kicker because it's proven, very costly in the last year or so.
Stefan, thanks so much for your time. Safe travels down to Baton Rouge. We'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. See you.
Stefan Krosnick covers Mississippi State for the Jackson Clarion Ledger. 11 extra points missed. That is not good.
That's bad. That's bad. I don't think as a college kicker you could try to miss 11 extra points. That's ridiculous, and that's a facet for LSU. I'm getting the block team ready. I'm putting pressure on this guy. I want to rattle his cage a little bit and see if he can sink some, because anytime you hear that going into a football game, that's a huge cause for concern.
Well, when I go in the stadium tomorrow, I'll be looking to see who's taking kicks for him. 29 is Massimo Biscardi, who missed those 2 extra points last week, and then Ben Raybon, he just mentioned, is the transfer in who took over last week. We'll see if it's 29 or 89 making some kicks, but they got some issues on special team, does Mississippi State. So thanks to Stefan for jumping aboard. Lunch Hour brought to you by Angel Oak Home Loans each and every Friday. When we come back, we'll break down the NFL slate. That's next. It's Hunt and Hill.
Hold down the middle of the day. This is Hunt and Hill. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted
in the prep football season, and we get you started Friday night at 6 with Louisiana Prep Preview presented by the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Catholic High and U High kick off at 7, and that's immediately followed by the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on YouTube, Your View, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Every week we go through the NFL slate using our tiers. Tier 4 is trash. Tier 1 is must-see TV. You understand how that works. They came out hot last week, the NFL did. They had no Tier 4 games and a lot of Tiers 1 and 2. Bit of a hangover week 2. Not quite the slate outside of Saints-Bucks, which is really good that we'll have our eyes on, and we'll break that game down in the second hour. But there are a few Tier 4 games. We'll start there for the weekend. Look, Jets are at the Browns. The Jets have lost 13 straight in September. That is not a great way to get off to a start because we usually play our first games in September. So they've lost 13 in a row in September. Browns hosting the Jets. Who you got in that one?
I'm going to go with the Browns. I think they're just going to run the ball down their throat. It's so hard to slow down Chubb and Hunt. Yeah. Don't really love Brissett that much, but I also just don't think the Jets with Flacco have a pulse. And
Flacco!
Yeah, man. Look,
Super Bowl champion Joe Flacco to you.
Yeah, Super Bowl champ. But, yeah, I think for me, I like the Browns there.
Commanders at the Lions. I don't think that's a very good game. Look, Jeff Udoka held Devontae Smith to 0 catches, so we'll see what he can do this weekend. I thought that was impressive, him on the outside. Commanders, Lions, got a pick there?
I'm going to go I'm actually go with the Lions, and I'll go with Mr. Campbell, man. I'm gonna go with Mr. Dog himself.
He is likable. I liked him on Hard Knocks. I don't know if he can coach at all, but he is likable.
I like the way they finished the game against the Eagles. Obviously, not the best start to that game. I just don't think Carson Wentz is very good, so I'm gonna go with the Lions here.
Panthers are at the Giants. I don't think that's really good. The Giants did run for 236 yards last week, which is the best in the NFL. See if they can get that rolling at home against the Panthers this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Giants, man. I think I like what Saquon's bringing. If Saquon's gonna be that version of Saquon, you don't have to put the ball in Danny Dimes' hand a bunch. You can just feed that thing to Saquon, let him rip off some big carries. I know Baker, wanted to win that game last week a ton, but I don't know. I got the Giants in that one.
This has never been in Tier 3 for the last 20 years, but it is now. Pats at the Steelers. The first Brady Roethlisberger-less Patriots-Steelers matchup since 1998.
Oh, jeez, that's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when I think of the quarterback playing that game, I don't think it's going to be the most dynamic
Mac
quarterback.
Jones, Mitchie Mitch, first rounders.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be looking too hot. I'm going to go with the Steelers because I just don't see how the Patriots offense scores enough. They just didn't look good in that. I know they don't have Watt, but I think that defense is really well coached by Tomlin and the crew. So I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Still in Tier 3 here. Colts are at the Jags. In their last 16 division games, the Jaguars are 3-13. All 3 wins are against the Colts. The Colts cannot go to Jacksonville and win. It cost them the playoffs last year. Will it happen again?
For me, I was thinking about taking them for Survivor,
yeah.
but I didn't go that route because of that very reason you said. So I'm gonna go with the Colts here. I think they can't start out 0-2. I said that the other day of the worst losses. You can't start out 0-2 when you just go get Matt Ryan and you feeling like you're the favorite in that division. So yeah, the Colts better win that game.
Let me correct you. 0-1-1. That's why I'm still alive in Survivor. Falcons are at the Rams.
Yeah.
I have that in Tier 3. No Super Bowl champ has started 0-2 since 1999. The Broncos. The Rams, if they were to lose to the Falcons, I'd be out of Survivor, and they would be the first to do that. You got the Rams rebounding after a tough week 1?
Yeah, I do have the Rams rebounding. But I think this year the Falcons are one of those sneaky teams. They kind of give me a little Mississippi State flavor where any given Sunday, if they're running the ball with Patterson and Mariota really well, and the defense is, playing – well, no, never mind. If they have a 3-touchdown lead, they're going to give it up in the fourth quarter. So, yeah, give me the Rams.
Seahawks are at the 49ers. Geno Smith completed 82% of his passes in week 1. You think he's going to keep that up in San Fran?
Man, I just don't. Look, those are the one. What I think it was Hanny or Ott that talk about those emotional games. I think for Seattle, that was one of just those emotional games. I just can't see Geno lighting this league up all season long. So I gotta go against Geno this week.
I didn't mean to say San Fran. I once said that at a family reunion, and my cousin lived in San Francisco at the time. She says, "No one says San Fran. It's SF." I was like, "Okay, SF, whatever you want to say." Texans at the Broncos is in Tier 3. Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy versus Derek Stingley in a Texans team that was pretty scrappy until they gave up a 20-3 lead in the opener.
Yeah, that's an interesting matchup. I'm gonna go with my boy Sting here, man. Sting played well last week.
On the road.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sting here.
Davis Mills.
Yeah, I think they could pull the upset off here. I know for Russell and them they want to get back on the right foot, but sometimes each week there's gonna be a couple games where some wacky stuff happens and the team that's you think's not supposed to win is gonna win. I'm gonna go with the Texans this week.
That is Tier 3. Tier 2. There are no Tier 1 games this week. I don't have a single one in must-see TV because we don't do the Saints and Bucks game, which is going to be a really good football game. But Tier 2, Dolphins at the Ravens. The Ravens only ran for 63 yards last week. A lot of Lamar through the air last week. I think they've been as good as anybody running the football. They got to get back to that, I would think.
Yeah, I think that's definitely their identity. They want to run the ball down your throat and play really good defense behind that. But, some weeks they take the run away and you got to pass it. And so I think that's where Lamar's trying to make that next, step and really become that pocket passer where you can feel like he can win both ways with his legs and from the pocket. So I'm going to go with the Ravens here. I know Tua's getting a lot of love right now, that offense. They got Waddle, Tyreek. Everyone's just loving the Dolphins right now. Sorry, Bilbo Baggins. I'm going to go with Lamar here. Action Jackson.
Bengals at the Cowboys. I've got that in Tier 2 just because it's just a huge game for the Bengals. They've got to go down there and win. Dallas has not been 0-2 since 2010. Did you know that, Taylor Sharp?
Yeah, that's not very good. I'm gonna go with Joey B, of course, man. I think it's obviously my Survivor pick this week. Don't know how Cooper Rush is gonna lead that team against. I think Joey's just I can't wait to watch him. I think he's just gonna be laser focused and just. The ball's not going to be in harm's way at all this week. I think he knows how important it is. So I'm gonna go with Joey B here.
Jimmy on his show earlier today said that he thinks that was the worst game Joe Burrow has ever played in his life. He did not play one that bad in his first 2 years. He did not play one near that bad at LSU. and probably didn't throw 4 picks in a high school game. Maybe he did, but probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe the worst game he's ever played. He was not good last weekend. Needs to get that right. Cardinals at the Raiders. That's a good game, tier 2. The Cardinals started 7-0 last year. Everybody's like, oh, man, Kingsbury's got this caliber. Since they were 7-0, they are 4-8, including a first-round playoff exit.
Yeah, no, they've tailed off, man. And I think a big part to do with that is not having DeAndre Hopkins. I think when him and Kyler were together, that offense was flying at a high ceiling there. He had a true number 1 receiver he could depend on to get open, throw it up to him. I remember him catching a ball on Tre'Davious and like 3 different Bills players. He's going making catches like that. So without him, that offense just doesn't look the same. So, yeah, I got to fade Kyler this week. I'm probably fading Kyler for a little bit here.
There you go. 4-8 through the last 12 is not good. When I saw that stat, I went, that's not good for Cliff's future. If they're not very good this year,
yeah, he'll be gone.
May not be around too much more. And then the last game here in tier 2, Bears at the Packers. As you mentioned, Aaron owns the city of Chicago and the Bears. Packers 11-1 against the Bears in their last 12. Packers also have not been 0-2 since 2006. They are 0-1, welcoming their rivals from the South. You think the Bears can go up there and spring the upset?
I would love to see it just because I want to see Aaron just have an absolute tirade on the entire team.
He might just quit.
And just blame shift everyone and blame the janitors in the hallway for the reason why they lost. So for that reason alone, I just want to see what happens. I want the Bears to start out 2-0, see the great city of Chicago, all that fan base just start the delusion like they're going to go win a Super Bowl. And I want to see Aaron just absolutely lose his mind. So, yeah, give me the Bears.
Chicago's bumming a little bit right now. Look, the Bears, they're their hope, but the Cubs are in rebuild. They stink. The White Sox were supposed to be good. They're terrible. The Blackhawks just fired everybody and are awful, and the Bulls are never any good. So it's not a great scene in the city of Chicago right now. I saw a great interview clip from Barstool with Aaron Rodgers. Caleb Presley's really funny on Barstool, and he does something called the Sunday Conversation, but he spells it like the ice cream, and you eat ice cream, or this guy eats ice cream, and he has these weird conversations. It's all jokes. And he was like, he looked at Aaron Rodgers. He goes, "You got insurance?" And Aaron Rodgers is a spokesperson for State Farm. And he's like, "Yeah, I got it with State Farm." He goes, "Insurance? How does that work? Is that like drafting a backup quarterback in the first round?" And Aaron Rodgers looked at him and was like, "Yeah, that is kind of how that works."
That's a good one. That's
a solid line.
Actually good. That's a great one.
Little Jordan Love jab to Aaron Rodgers in the Sunday Conversation, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So that's your look at the NFL. We're gonna do. Coming up in hour number 2, we'll start off with our SEC football selections. I also have my lock of the year at the top of the hour. It is in those SEC selections. Last year, I had that with Vandy against UMass, and they missed by about 4 scores. So we're going to throw another lock of the year out there in Week 3 for the SEC. We will preview Saints and Bucks coming up at 2:15. We have Take It or Leave It, and then our final pick coming up at the end of the show. A reminder about our programming today. Matt's going to be up next, 3 to 6 on After Further Review. At 6 o'clock, it'll go to Cade for Louisiana Prep Preview. Catholic High will go to the airwaves at 6:45. Have that broadcast, and then immediately following Catholic High, here on 104.5 ESPN, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard until midnight. Kay Wassan and his cast of thousands on the airwaves this evening. When we come back, I have got, courtesy of The Athletic, an itemized receipt list from Arch Manning's official visit weekend. You want to see a university spend some cash? Texas did it. I'll tell you what it was on. That's next on Hunt and Hill.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge with Hunt and Hill. This week on DropBiscuit.com or wherever you listen to podcasts is our new series, Pops, the Louis Armstrong story. Pops is brought to you by New Orleans & Company. Check out NewOrleans.com and come visit New Orleans.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Join us for the next edition of Handy Time. We go early on Mondays for the Brian Kelly press conference, so Handy Time starts at 11. Press conference in the middle, and we'll go until 1. Take a look back at LSU, Mississippi State, and Saints and the Bucks. Handy Time, 11 a.m. on Monday, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I know a lot of times y'all get upset with sports writers and the media, and they're always wrong, and they need to shut up. Sometimes the media does some cool stuff. And this was pretty cool by Sam Kahn of The Athletic. The Athletic does some great stuff. He put in a Freedom of Information Act request for the University of Texas's recruiting budget and got the receipts from Arch Manning's official visit weekend. It was Arch and 8 other players. There's 9 guys. This fascinated me. And Sam goes through the entire thing, runs through the schedule, and has the receipts, including like some of the stuff that they actually purchased. So to get everybody in, airfare, $21,000 to get everybody to Austin. It was in the summer, June. Hotel rooms for everybody, $46,000 for the weekend. They got everybody in. Everybody went to the hotel lunch buffet. They spent $17,000 on the hotel lunch buffet. Had to get some customized pastries, apparently. I'm not joking. That was in the story. They had a cocktail hour at the JW Marriott for the parents and the players. The parents rang up a $30,000 liquor bill on the cocktail hour. Somebody got a $70 Johnny Walker Blue. I mean, whatever. Texas is paying for it. Give me the blue. I got a bottle of that in my house. It comes out when something really good happens. I got it when I got married, which was a year and a half ago. I still have half the bottle left. I don't drink it very often. So somebody was drinking that. The next day they got breakfast in the stadium, $10,000 breakfast. What the hell costs $10,000? Omelets? It's made of eggs. They went to Top Golf and spent a couple hours there, ran up a $10,000 tab at Top Golf. I don't know. I don't know what they sent there. Then they went to Three Forks Steakhouse. This is when the real dollar started flying. I love this. 46 lobsters, 34 bone-in ribeyes, 26 fillets, 17 New York strips, and one guy said, screw it, I've never had a tomahawk ribeye. Bring me one of those. That was $135. The dinner bill was $37,000. That's the best day of that waiter's life.
Oh my God.
What's 10% of? What is 20% of $37K? It's like, it's a lot.
Something ridiculous.
It's a good chunk of change. After dinner drinks, when this is great. The players went out, and the coaching staff had the parents and family members for drinks for after dinner. $32,000 tab.
Oh my God.
So my thing is, you had cocktail hour, Top Golf for 2 hours, a $37,000 dinner at Three Forks Steakhouse. Then they had after dinner drinks for $32,000. How drunk are these people? How drunk are the parents of these football players? They've been drinking on Texas's tab for 10 hours.
Look, as a person who's been on countless recruiting trips, I'm telling you right now, it would probably have been double the amount with me, buddy. I would have been ordering everything. Let's get some to go. Let's get some of this. Hey, you guys have any
You're the tomahawk ribeye Johnny Walker Blue guy?
Yeah,
I want the $135 steak and the $70 glass of scotch.
I want the steak right now, and I want another one to go. You can pack that baby up for me. We're going all in. Look, Texas on Texas. Wait, we're going Texas?
That reminds me of
ridiculous.
us going to Gaddy's on Sundays in college and bringing backpacks with Tupperware in them, and then putting Gaddy's pizza in their backpacks and leaving. Then the next day they went on a lake cruise, a booze cruise for the parents with the coaching staff, $2,300. All in flights, hotels, booze cruise, Top Golf, steakhouse, breakfast at the stadium. The whole weekend cost $280,000 for Texas recruiting budget. And the article notes that they did the same thing the next weekend and spent more than that because they had more players. But that is one hell of a performance by these recruits.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's a phenomenal one. I'm not mad at it at all, man. Look, run that baby up, man. Look, max out. I'm sure you can. You tried your hardest. It's probably an Amex. You probably have a hard time doing it. So
run
a lot
of points.
Yeah, run that baby up, man. Yeah, it's fascinating. And I saw the same article. I didn't realize just how much money goes into all these recruiting trips. They said Georgia spent like $3.6 million just in recruiting last year. So it's fascinating, man. It's the lifeblood of your program, so you got to invest in it. But yeah, man, that's crazy. Texas
I calculated just a modest tip, an 18% tip on that steakhouse, $6,660. Now they're gonna have a team of waiters dealing with that many people, but that's a pretty good night at the office if you're waiting tables at the Three Forks Steakhouse.
Take the rest of the month off with that type of day, man. That's not bad at all. Yeah, man. I guess you got to do that for Arch. You got to pull all the steaks out. You got to pull everything. I wonder what's only all the hors d'oeuvres. Like got Arch's face on everything.
Hey,
like
look,
got the 16 on it. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, I hope this goes to winning. Y'all got to turn this thing around pretty soon. You're spending all this cash. You're doing all this. We'll see.
I gave you the dinner orders. 46 went with the lobster. Are you a lobster guy?
Yeah, it depends. I'm not gonna go to a steakhouse and order it, but I'll mess with it. I'm not like, I have to have the lobster. Like I'm probably gonna be starving after I eat that.
Lobster,
so it's like it's not.
You have to dip it in butter. I'll dip a snow tire in butter. It tastes good. Like give me the meat. Give me the steak.
Yeah,
I'm with the bone-in ribeyes guy. I'm not mad at the tomahawk guy who spent the $135. That's the quote in the story that Sam Kahn wrote says, "I never had a tomahawk ribeye, so I thought, why not?" Look,
yeah, for sure.
That's a thing of beauty. I mean, what were your visits like? Were you all steakhousing it up? And
I can't look. I would love to see the tabs, but I've been on a ton of those things. It's never been like that. I think for LSU, we went to Texas de Brazil. Maybe 10 people. I don't think that was 30. So what'd you say it was $30-something thousand?
$37,000.
I don't think Texas de Brazil is running up a $30,000 tab over there. It's just not happening. And then
it's all you can eat.
I don't remember one trip where drinking with parents were involved. Like when does that like start happening? I guess it's a Texas thing. I've never seen an open bar, parents getting hammered and drunk. Yeah, of course the recruits go out at night, but like this is different, man. Texas is pulling out all the stakes. Can't be mad. As a parent, I'd be like, I'd love that.
They had 2 different $30,000 cocktail hours. I mean, your parent gets home from the trip on Sunday night. It's like, what do you think of Texas? I don't remember any of it. I was hammered. I blacked out at 4 p.m. at Topgolf. I don't know what happened.
That's the one that maybe. I've been at Topgolf probably 20 times. How do you spend $10,000 at Topgolf? How is that even possible?
I can tell a quick Topgolf story. So I asked a woman on a third date. Turns out I'm married to her now. But our third date was at Topgolf. And I show up and they say your bay's not ready. Go to the bar and wait. So we're waiting. The person comes up like 15 minutes later. Is like, Mr. Palmer, your VIP table is ready. They rolled out a red carpet, brought this cookie tray out, and I'm like, what? What is a VIP? And I'm thinking in my head, like Alyssa's thinking, who is this dork that thinks he can get VIP at Topgolf and think that's really cool? It's like, I promise I didn't do this on purpose. All the VIP thing came with was a tray of cookies and all you can drink water. It didn't come with, I thought maybe I'll get some all you can drink brewskis out of this. No, I was like, man, this looks. And I looked at this. I was like, I promise you, I did not mean to get the VIP thing at Topgolf. I didn't need the red carpet. I didn't need the cookie tray. I'm not trying to impress you and flex financially. Look, I can roll big. I can VIP it at Topgolf.
Wait, what's the price difference for the cookies and the red carpet?
I have no idea.
Is it that big? Like, what?
I was just mortified that she thought I was trying to flex on that.
You're probably showing off the golf swing too, man. You probably think you're a show off.
Yeah, it didn't cost me $10,000 like it did Texas their day at Topgolf. That'll do it for hour number 1. Loaded hour number 2 is coming at you. We got our picks for LSU and Mississippi State, as well as the Saints and Bucks. We're going to preview Saints and Bucks, and when we come back to lead off hour number 2, we've got the SEC picks against the spread. We're both over 500. I've got my lock of the year. You cannot miss it. I'm over 1 on locks of the year, but another one's coming. Sports Center, and then us coming back. It's on Hill.
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well. Yes! It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. PayPal, which has a sponsorship agreement with the Phoenix Suns, announces today the company will not renew that deal if team owner Robert Sarver continues his involvement with the team after a one-year suspension. Sarver was suspended and fined for racist and misogynist remarks. Texas A&M will make a quarterback change for tomorrow's game against Miami. Max Johnson, a transfer from LSU, will take over for Haynes King. ESPN's David Pollack.
I think it makes a lot of sense. Jimbo Fisher in the offense he wants to run. He wants to go from 1 to 2 to 3. He wants to get it to his playmakers, which Anais Smith needs to get the ball in rhythm, on time. I think that this makes a lot of sense for this A&M offense.
The Aggies are coming off a home loss to Appalachian State, Miami, and Texas A&M tomorrow night at 9 Eastern on ESPN. The Athletic is reporting the University of Texas football program spent more than $600,000 on true recruiting weekends in June. One of those recruits was quarterback Arch Manning, who committed to the Longhorns just 4 days after his visit.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Which LA team is more likely to win the Super Bowl, Rams or Chargers?
Probably the Rams. Get more from the guys Monday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
1, 2, 3. Hunt and Hill. Hunt Palmer, Jeremy Hill, holding down the middle of the day. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, it's Hunt and Hill. Now on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hour 2, last hour of the week here, Hunt and Hill. Counting down to kickoff, LSU and Mississippi State tomorrow at 5 o'clock, Saints and Bucks noon inside the Dome. I'll be there for both, so very excited to take all that in this weekend. Should be a fun show on Monday, recapping all of it. Looking forward to that. Light weekend of SEC and SEC games, and it's not a weekend full of headliners either, but we've done pretty well against the spread, and we're going to try to keep that rolling. We both were over 500 last year picking them all. We did on the Tiger Zone, but we were both over 500 thus far. I am 12-7. Jeremy is 11-8. So we will fire away with the SEC picks for this week here, and it'll include my lock of the year. You cannot miss this. All right, we start off with Georgia at South Carolina. 24.5 is the number that I see. That half is a big deal. I will take South Carolina and the points. It is in Columbia. I think Spencer Rattler will make a couple of plays. He did against Arkansas. He wasn't great from start to finish, but they did score a little bit late and make that game competitive. I just need to score a little bit, and I'll be able to cover the 24.5. So I'll take South Carolina and the points. I don't love it because South Carolina is not very good, and Georgia is very, very good, but I'll do it in Williams-Brice.
I'm going with Staquavius, Mr. I got to fade Bennett. I just think he's playing so well this year. That defense is so good, and I just think Rattler's going to turn it over. If he goes out there and throws a couple picks, this thing can get out of hand really quick. If Rattler could take care of the football and I trusted him not to turn it over, I'd say, yeah, that's a lot of points. And South Carolina can score a little bit. They may put up 17, maybe 21. Going to be hard to cover that 24.5, but I just think he's going to turn it over. So I got Georgia in that one.
I don't hate that pick at all. Mark Stoops said on the Feinbaum show this week that he had to get over 200 tickets for this game this weekend. So who's Kentucky playing? Well, it's Youngstown State. And Mark Stoops is from Youngstown, Ohio. So he had to get a lot of tickets sent on in to Lexington. Cats coming off a really nice win in Gainesville. There's no line on the game. But how big a threat is Kentucky in the East? Georgia is the top dog. Somebody's got a challenge for second.
Yeah. I think they're right there, man. And I think they've been there for a couple years now. And it's just a solid football team. They're well coached. I didn't realize just how well Stoops has coached that football program. They go out there.
He's done a great job.
Yeah, they don't make bonehead penalties. They're going to play you tight. And now once they get Rodriguez back for the back end of the season, I think it makes them even better. So, yeah, I think Kentucky's right there. I'm still going to give Tennessee the nod. I think anytime you got a battle with Georgia, you're going to have to score points. Don't trust Levis to do that at a high end, but Kentucky's right there.
All right, this is going to be a lot, but I'm going to try to give you a little door opening here. Abilene Christian is at Missouri. There's no line on it. I don't care. Missouri's going to win. Will this be Eli Drinkwitz's last win as a Missouri Tiger head coach? Here's the rest of their schedule. They're at Auburn, then they play Georgia. They're at Florida. Home game against Vanderbilt. That is pretty soon. At South Carolina, Kentucky, at Tennessee. You'd have to get to New Mexico State. Next to last weekend before Arkansas.
Look, if they can't beat Vanderbilt and New Mexico State, I will drive from Baton Rouge to Missouri and fire Eli Drinkwitz myself. I will literally do that. You deserve to be fired.
Last week was ugly, man. I have a hard time getting past 40-12 at Kansas State. That's a bad performance.
Yeah, no, it's bad. That's
unless you got John Trey Kirkland playing quarterback, then it's respectable because you're out there trying. But with your real quarterback to lose 40-12 to Kansas State in year 3, not great.
Yeah, no, that's not great. Yeah, I'll say no. I think they'll win a game. They better be Vanderbilt or New Mexico State. So I'll say no. I think they win one more.
All right, so let's go move on. Ole Miss is at Georgia Tech. The line is 17 points. Not sure who Lane's going to go with at quarterback. Altmaier was dinged up last week. Had to go to Jackson Dart in the second half of that game. 17.5. Georgia Tech hung around with Clemson for 3 quarters, but I still don't think they're very good.
Yeah, I don't think they're very good. But I'm going to take Georgia Tech here. I think Ole Miss will win the game, but it's just 17, so many points for this Ole Miss. I don't think they're that dominant for that 17. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Georgia Tech to cover, but I think Ole Miss will win.
I've got Ole Miss to cover in that one. I will lay the points. Penn State at Auburn. Huge game for Brian Harsin. We don't know what they're doing at quarterback. They're rotating guys in and out. Is it going to be TJ Finley? They're going to go with the Oregon transfer. I don't think either one's very good, and I don't love Penn State, but I think that they've got a veteran quarterback who's not gonna wet the bed, so to say. And I think that they will go down there and win. I will take Penn State. I will lay the 3 points. Should be an incredible atmosphere in Jordan-Hare. When that place is buzzing, it is really fun. But I like Penn State. I just don't think Auburn's any good.
Yeah, no, I think Penn State has 2 different things going for them right now. They got Clifford at quarterback, who's an experienced guy, and then their running back Singleton. I think he's special. He's been ripping off runs all year. He's at 210 yards already, 100-yard performances in both games, and I just don't love the Auburn offense. I just really don't. So, yeah, I'll lay the points as well. I'll take Penn State.
All right. Okay, this is an issue here. Vanderbilt's one is at Northern Illinois. Why are you at Northern Illinois? 2,
because you're bad.
I mean, let me recheck this number. The number is 2.5 as I had it last. Let me make sure, because that's just, come on, Vanderbilt. It's Northern. Well, first of all, why are you playing there? 2, why is the number that close? But that's what it appears to be.
Oh man, Northern Illinois. Dude. Honestly, I won't even lie to y'all. I don't know much about Northern Illinois football team.
No, that's Southern Illinois, the Salukis. This is the...
Yeah, I don't know much. I haven't watched much.
Lynch was their quarterback.
Yeah.
Ran for a bunch of yards.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But still, I haven't watched much Northern Illinois football, but nothing in my iota of my being can pick Vanderbilt to win anything. So I'm gonna lay the 2.5 points. Let's go Northern. I don't even know their mascot, so
it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
So yeah, give me
Huskies, man.
Yeah, Huskies,
the Huskies,
that's right.
the Husky pride. Yeah, give me Northern Illinois.
That's pitiful. Let me check the line one more time on that game. Make sure I had that right. No, I'm sorry, I had it wrong. I knew it. I wrote it wrong on my paper, which is why I wanted to check it. I knew it. Northern Illinois is a 2.5-point favorite over Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
That's why I hesitated, because I was like, I don't think that's what I read. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'll lay the points. Give me 2.5. I'll lay it.
You will lay it with Northern Illinois.
Yes, I'm not ever picking Vanderbilt on the show. I'm telling y'all, spoiler alert, I'm not picking Vanderbilt ever. I don't care who they're playing.
I knew I had written that wrong. Okay, yeah, I take Vanderbilt. Sorry, you got to go beat Northern Illinois. You got an athletic quarterback, go do it. Funny game, funny stuff. ULM at Bama for the first time since 2007. I was a young student in the student section in Oxford, Mississippi, as my dad was texting me scores and telling me that ULM had beaten Nick Saban in Alabama in 2007. Things are a little bit different now. It's a 49.5-point number. Alabama is favored. I'm taking Bama and laying the points. What do you got?
It may be 49-0 at halftime.
It may be.
Give me the tie, man. I'm never gonna sing Rammer Jammer, but I'll take him in this game for sure. Give me the tie.
We hadn't gotten to my lock of the year yet. It is coming. Don't worry. It is coming. Missouri State is at Arkansas. No line here. It's just funny because Bobby Petrino is the coach of Missouri State, and he's back. Do you think they will boo Bobby Petrino when he runs out of the tunnel?
They might try to kill that guy. You better be careful when he's out there. They don't like that guy very much, and they have every reason not to. So he's got to get the boo birds, and they're going to get blown off the field. I don't think there's a spread for this game.
No,
I don't see one, but yeah.
We're not talking about that. And Petrino, if he had one iota sense of humor, he would ride into the stadium on a motorcycle.
Oh, God.
Or coach the game in a neck brace.
Oh, my God. You talking about? You see what happened to Lane at Tennessee last year? They would throw a car at that guy if he tried something like that.
Old Bobby P. Fayetteville's favorite son.
He better have an umbrella, a riot shield when he's walking off. He's got to get. It's got to be crazy, man. I'm gonna tune in. I don't. What is this on SEC Network? Yep. Yeah, I want to see the Boo Birds out for that. That's gonna be fascinating to watch him walk that field and walk off it.
Another huge number, 47.5. Akron and Tennessee. Last week, Akron lost at Michigan State 52-0. So that would not have covered the 47.5. Give me the Zips. I'll take 47.5. Look, Tennessee had an emotional game, had to travel, go to Pittsburgh, got the win, they come back. They don't care about Akron. Give me the Zips, 47.5. I'll take it.
All right, let's make things interesting. Give me Tennessee. They may score 47 in the first half. At Akron defense, that's a little shaky. They're going to be going fast, and it'll be fine.
They beat St. Francis 30-23 in week 1, so
give it up
they're hot.
23 points on one of those bad teams. Yeah, I'm in a good spot. Come on, give me 10.
All right, I still haven't gotten to my lock of the year. South Florida at Florida, 24 is the number in the Swamp. What Anthony Richardson you going to get? Week 1, Utah. Week 2, Kentucky.
Oh,
it's a little Jekyll and Hyde down there.
I said earlier that's a lot of points, but as I look at USF's quarterback stats, no touchdown passes, 2 picks.
Not good.
That Florida defense isn't terrible. Give me Florida.
He likes
Give me
Florida. I got
Florida.
South Florida. We got a lot of differences this week.
It's
going to
be,
separate the folks here.
Yep.
We have now arrived at Hunt's mortal lock of the season. I will not stress a bet all season long.
Oh, no.
I got 6.5. Is that what you see?
Yeah. What the heck are they doing?
Miami at Texas A&M. The number is 6.5. Jimbo Fisher. Well, he didn't announce it. They broke the story. Max Johnson is starting at quarterback. I speak on the radio for a living, and I cannot adequately express how bad Haynes King is. I have watched him 3 games. He was atrocious of every play of 3 games. I don't know what Jimbo Fisher was doing for a month when he named him the starting quarterback. I know what Max Johnson is. He's playing on Saturday. A&M's defense is pretty good, and Max Johnson's not bad. A&M's going to be in a bad mood. That stadium's going to be on fire. A&M's going to cover 6.5 with ease on Saturday. This is the lock. And I'm not even trying to jinx him. This is a Haynes King pick. If you've watched him play 1 snap, you understand how awful that was. And their defense still showed up for 2 games while he was wallowing away and just missing every receiver. Throwing picks. He just can't play. He cannot play. He will not graduate from A&M. He will transfer out and go play at a small school. Max Johnson will be fine tomorrow. They will win this game by 14 points. A&M, lock of the week, of the century, of the millennium.
He believes in Max. I'll run through this quick paragraph from Peter Burns that he put on Twitter. This was Haynes King last week. He was 13 for 20 for 97 yards. He was under pressure on only 3 of his 24 dropbacks. He was 0 for 2 on his deep balls. He was 1 for 4 on medium passes. He ran the ball 4 times for 27 yards and fumbled twice. Sheesh, that is terrible.
He can't throw the ball to anyone. I cannot imagine what Jimbo thought he saw in camp.
Yeah.
I tweeted this out like their third drive of the season. I tweeted out, go back 2 Saturdays from tomorrow. I said, hey, Max Johnson can play a lot of football this year. Haynes King won't see the field again. He'll transfer out. This is the lock of the century of the week. What do you got for Miami and A&M? 6.5 is the number A&M is favored.
Being on Hutton Hill for a little over a year now, I've seen every lock of the week, lock of the year, lock of the century.
Don't talk about Vandy UMass.
Fade, Hunts, locks of the year.
Don't talk about Vandy UMass. I only missed the cover there by 4 touchdowns.
Give me the U, baby.
I think they were laying 28, and they won on a last-second field goal.
It's all about the U. Give me the U. I will never pick A&M.
I'll throw the U up. I'm pulling for Miami. I want it. And look, we don't have to talk about last year's lock that went horribly wrong. This is the lock of the year. A&M, just invest wisely. FanDuel Sportsbook, go on there. Dump the mortgage on the Aggies. It's a lock. They will cover the 6.5. That's our look through the Southeastern Conference. When we come back, we will. What are we doing when we come back? We're going to Saints Bucks. It's Hunt and Hill.
Hunt Palmer and Jeremy Hill. It's Hunt and Hill.
LWCC is Louisiana loyal. They are elevating and celebrating champions of Louisiana each and every month here on Hunt and Hill. All September long, we're telling you about Metamore.
Yep, Metamore, an institute dedicated to the study and treatment of metabolic disease and obesity, has been celebrated by LWCC as a champion of Louisiana. Located in Baton Rouge on the campus of Pennington Biomedical, Metamore is a one-of-a-one-kind facility joining science, clinical research, and variety of treatment modalities under a single roof to create a world-class institute.
We know that obesity is one of the greatest health threats that faces Americans, and certainly Louisianians are very much impacted, and Metamore is doing its part to help those who are afflicted with obesity. It's not even become just a Louisiana thing. It's a global thing now over at Metamore. More than 6,200 patients were treated in 2021, and they will surpass that number this year, and it all starts right here in Louisiana. So shout out to Metamore, this month's champion of Louisiana, and shout out to LWCC for presenting us a champion of Louisiana each and every month. LWCC is Louisiana loyal.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I am Juliette, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabriel Piera. I come from a line of strong women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis, but I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water.
NFL is back. Our coverage starts Sunday at 10 a.m. with Magnolia Bluffs Football Sunday with Jimmy Ott, immediately followed by the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins at noon, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Shout out to whoever picked the kickoff time for LSU this week, put it into 5 o'clock. If it had been like an 8 o'clock kickoff, the old double dip, LSU and Saints, would be real difficult for your boy doing the post-game show and then getting up and getting down to New Orleans. But with the 5 o'clock kickoff, I should get home around 11. We got time to get some sleep and then get down to New Orleans for the Saints game. I am fired up for this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. First of all, I'm fired up because when I go to Saints games, I don't have the emotional investment. I can just relax, enjoy my cold beer, and watch some football. I hope the Saints win. If they don't, I won't lose any sleep over it. If LSU plays, I can't breathe. So it's just a little bit different environment for me, but I'm excited to get in the dome. Look, it's been well documented that the Saints have owned the Bucs with Tom Brady under center, and I was looking through those results, and there's really not a huge common theme other than the fact that they intercept Tom Brady a lot. But if you go back to last year's matchups, the first one in October, the Saints won a 36-27 game. Brady did throw for 375 yards, but they sacked him 3 times, picked him off twice. It was a high-scoring game, 36-27, and they came back 2 months later, and the Saints win 9-0 in Tampa. Like, that's just a totally different ball game. Taysom was at quarterback. The defense threw a shutout and picked Brady off. He only threw for 214 yards. So 2 totally different games there. You go back to 2020, the COVID year. The first matchup was in September. Brady throws for 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, but they pick him off twice. Saints win 34-23, so a game that was featured a lot of points. Breeze was obviously under center there, and then they just crushed them 38-3 in November of that year. Brady only threw for 209 yards, 3 sacks, 2 picks. It sounds like Chris Godwin's going to be out for this game. He hadn't practiced yet, so that's kind of the report that we're getting from Jenna Lane down there in Tampa. And, I've been kind of saying that I didn't love the Bucs this year, and I still don't love the Bucs this year. They looked good defensively against Dallas, but then Dak goes down. So what are you looking at? The Saints, to me, are a more complete team at this point.
Yeah, no, I think they match up extremely well with the Bucs, and to me, the NFL is all about one-on-one matchups. They're going to be you can only double team a couple people every play, so everything else is going to be one-on-one matchup. And for the Saints, I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything on Adebo.
He did not practice today. Neither did Kamara, which is concerning.
Yeah,
sure.
now that can change things because I like the Bucs receivers there at their wideouts. Even without Godwin, they still got Julio. Julio looks good. Mike Evans is going to be good. You still got Russell Gage, and so you still got weapons for Tom.
Yeah.
I think this entire game is going to boil down to the Saints D-line. It always has. They have to get after Tom, and if they don't, it's going to change the fortune of everything. And so I'm going to be looking at that. I feel good about the Saints offense. I think the left side, if they can keep that left side shored up and keep Jameis, because it seemed like that first half he was just under duress and just really no rhythm. They can get kind of towards that second half of brand of football they played late in the game where Jameis just has time in the pocket. I trust him to survey the field. He did a great job not throwing interceptions. That's a big thing we're looking at. So yeah, for me, I like the Saints in this. I do. I think the Saints match up well with the Bucs.
It's a couple things. One, just like after the Florida State game when we came back in here and said LSU has got to get the ball to Kayshawn early in the game. They come out against Southern, first 2 throws go to Kayshawn. Michael Thomas didn't get involved until the third quarter in week 1. You got to get him the football. And so I expect the Saints to come out early, get him rolling a little bit, get the ball out to Michael Thomas on some short stuff early, and do just like LSU did last week. That's got to happen early and often. The concern is what the Falcons did to the Saints up front with that running game and Cordero Patterson last weekend. If they get Leonard going, then you can't pin your ears back and get after Tom because you got to worry about him, and then you're going to give Brady time, and the weapons that you mentioned are good. So there's something there. But that offensive line for Tampa with Jensen out and left tackle is a question mark now. I think the Saints should win that battle up front.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're favored in that matchup up front. It's going to be huge for the Saints to slow Leonard down. I think I said, getting after Tom is going to be important, but if you're not slowing Leonard down, now that opens up the big play action game, and then now you got one-on-one matchups on the outside, and it's just that's what the world Tom wants to live in. Yeah. He's comfortable in that world. What you want to do to Tom is stop the run game, keep him in 3rd and long, make him hold on to the ball, and get after him. So if you're the Saints, whoever the left tackle is, I know Cam doesn't play on that side, but I may say, hey, hop on that other side right quick, Mr. Cam. Let's see what you got, and put him on the other side on that bad tackle, a couple rush downs.
It was a really good camp for Peyton Turner. I mean, Davenport is healthy. They're pretty stout up front. I mean, that's a group that's just been ravaged by injuries the last couple of years. They can't keep guys on the field. They're maybe missing Kamara potentially. Adebo hadn't been out there. So there are some injury concerns. They're just not on the defensive line. So I think that bodes really, really well for the Saints. So I'm with you. I like the matchup. I think you can frustrate Brady. They have. I think there's something to that mentally, Dennis Allen's got something there. It's hard for me to understand how Brady's protected the football and been so productive against everybody except the Saints. I mean, he still led the league in passing last year, and the Saints picked him off 3 times in 2 games. It's bizarre.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating with the Saints defense, and I think the thing that I love the most is Dylan Allen is still around, and he's the orchestrator of stopping that offense since Tom Brady got to Tampa Bay, and so I think that's a big factor. I think offensively for the Saints as a former player, I know how important it is when guys are talking and bumping their gums. Michael Thomas didn't forget what happened the last time the Saints played the Bucs in the playoffs when he had 0 catches. I remember, I'm sure Michael Thomas remembers what every single Bucs DB, Carlton Davis, they all get on Twitter. They're bumping their gums. They're running their mouth. Mike's healthy now. He was on one leg the last time you played him. So let's see what you guys do with a healthy Michael Thomas. I think he's going to have a big-time game.
I'll tell you what. Who else is going to be there? Me and the Golden Band from Tigerland going to be performing in the Dome, I believe, at halftime. So if you're pulling the double dip, seeing LSU on Saturday and then going down, or if you're living in New Orleans, you're checking out the Saints on Sunday, Golden Band from Tigerland will be there. Let's go ahead and give our score prediction for this one. We'll do our pick for the LSU game at the end of the show. I like the Saints in this matchup. I do think it's going to be pretty close. I call this one 24-23, Saints by a point down there in the Dome on Sunday.
Yeah, I got 27-21. I think it's going to be some field goals kicked in that red zone, in that tight zone. But I think there will be some touchdowns scored too. It's going to be a really tight game. But I got the Saints edging them out by 6.
Champ says Mike T might have 20 catches. There will be one proud fantasy owner if he does, and he'll be having a cold beer in the stadium while Mike Thomas does that. We like that. Your boy had 0 points at halftime last week. Ended up turning it around. I want to remind you this week on dropbiscuit.com or wherever you listen to podcasts, our new series, Pops, the Louis Armstrong story. Pops brought to you by the New Orleans & Company. Check out neworleans.com and come visit New Orleans Drop Biscuit Studios, where we keep all of our podcasts here and Guarantee Media. We are winding down a Friday show. This town is going to be a lot of fun this evening. I cannot wait to get off, kind of check out campus, see what's going on. SEC action is upon us here in 20. Got to add 2. That'd be 26 and a half hours. Yeah, we're getting real close. We'll give you our predictions for LSU and Mississippi State to close out the show. But when we come back next, let's take it or leave it.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge with Hunt and Hill.
Reliable roofing and construction, reliableroofing.br.com.
Yeah, hey guys, so happy to tell you guys about Reliable Roofing, a family-run, owned, and operated residential roofing company. They've been in business since 2008 with over 30 years of roofing experience.
Look, I know some insurance companies are pulling out of Louisiana. That's happening everywhere, and a lot of people are not able to get new insurance if they don't have a new roof, because the insurers don't want an old beat-up roof. They don't want to take that risk down here where we get a bunch of storms. If that's the case and you need a new roof, Reliable Roofing and Construction should be your first call. Check out the website, reliableroofing.br.com. That's not something that we anticipate when we're don't think to just renew your insurance. Well, you can't. Well, now you got to get a new carrier, and now they won't insure me because I don't have a new roof. Reliable Roofing and Construction can make that happen. And with that new roof, you get a 5-year labor warranty. Lionel Hayes, the owner, is going to check out how his work team performs. He's going to give his stamp of approval on each and every job they do. Check out the website, reliableroofing.br.com. Reliable Roofing and Construction at reliableroofing.br.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com.
Moscona inviting you to join us for a Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Phil Steele joins us. The Riot Radio Hours return. Previewing Saints, Bucks, Tigers, Bulldogs. Join us 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Another reminder of our schedule here for tomorrow for game day. 12 o'clock, Eagle 98.1 game day will crank up from Rouse's on Burbank. That'll be Charles Hannegriff and Matt Musso. At noon, they'll go for 3 hours from Rouse's. And then the LSU Sports Radio Network will take it from there. That's myself, Brandon Taylor, and Marlon Favorite for the LSU game day, presented by 3 Olives Vodka. We'll be in the Tiger One Village starting at 3 o'clock. We will go for 90 minutes until 4:30, where we'll give it to the broadcast team, and they will give you the call of the game on Eagle 98.1 here in Baton Rouge. Then 30 minutes after it goes final, the Fighting Tiger postgame report, myself, Marlon Favorite, Brandon Taylor as well. We'll be going for about an hour, and then 90 minutes after it goes final, Charles Hannegriff and Jeremy Hill, Eagle 98.1 game day right here in the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio. So we'll be on for probably 12, 13 hours tomorrow. So it'll be a full day. Very much looking forward to LSU and Mississippi State. We'll give you our picks for Tigers and Bulldogs in the final segment of the show coming up in about 10 minutes. But We do it every day, just usually at the end of the show. Let's play some Take It or Leave It. Jeremy, fire away.
Alrighty, here. The LA Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert, he's scheduled to get x-rays this morning after suffering a rib injury against the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. Are you taking or leaving? The Chargers made a bad move putting him back in the game after the rib injury.
He looked a little banged up. Did not look great. Twitter was going nuts. Everybody was fired up. But, I mean, at this point, they're professional players. If the medical staff clears him and he says he's okay, you put him in the game. It's a huge game they've got to have. If the doctor says he can't play, then you sit him out. Or if the player says, look, I can't throw, I'm going to hurt, then you sit him. But everybody says it's go. I say go with the pros. I mean, I totally think the opposite when you're talking about, an 18-year-old on scholarship. That's no, you got to consider some things at that point. But pros, go play.
Yeah. No, I think for me it's I don't know. I kind of risk versus reward. Like, is that one game worth him actually breaking his ribs? Like, all it would took is one more hit. If you'd have got hit again, it would have just made it worse. So you got to ask yourself that. I think with the time left in the game, I think you only had a couple more series. It was worth it for them. I think if that happens in the first quarter, there's no way you leave him in for the whole game. He would have just been beat to a pulp. So I think in the time, they only had 2 more drives left. You got to leave him out there. But he did look like he was in a world of pain.
It's like when Stafford went back out there with like a separated shoulder and he's like hanging off his arm and he threw a touchdown pass and came off. That's a little different deal.
Yeah.
On the eve of their showdown against the Miami Hurricanes, Jimbo Fisher and the Aggies, looks like there's a change at quarterback. We talked about it with our SEC picks at the top of this hour, but it's Max Johnson in the starting lineup. Jimbo making a mistake going with Max Johnson. Take it or leave it.
You guys listen to me very closely here. He made the biggest mistake of his career. I mean, you have to leave Haynes King out there. I want to see Haynes King for 12 weeks of SEC football. We gotta
break your television.
You gotta have Haynes out there. What are we doing, Jimbo?
Not safe for work. Not safe for. You got to hide the women and children. He's throwing footballs all over the place, hitting the ground. You can't watch that for 12 weeks.
I would love to watch that. I think it would make me so happy. I'll have so much joy. So, unfortunately, Jimbo made the quarterback switch. I think it's actually going to be a lot better for that football program. But sure, man, I'd love to watch a little more Haynes King football.
Max is not going to win the Heisman, but we watched him be a pretty good quarterback for a year. When his day comes and he's got to meet his maker, the first question is going to be, bro, what did you look at in August of 22? What were you doing during practice? Were you out at the ranch, feeding the cattle? You clearly weren't watching the quarterbacks.
No. Yeah, that was bad. That was terrible.
Not good.
All right, the Tennessee Vols, they wasted no time giving their new head coach an extension by raising Josh Heupel's salary from $4 to $5 million just one season after going 7-6. Are you taking or leaving? The Vols made the right move, doubling down on Heupel.
I'll take it. Sure.
I'll take it.
Look, he's given them identity. This is something we talked about for a year and a half now on this show, on Tiger Zone last year, wherever. The Vols had no identity for 15 years after Fulmer left. Every coach looked the exact same. Dooley looked like Butch Jones, looked like, the whole thing was a disaster. Now they've got an identity. They play fast. They score a lot of points. That's who they are, and that's a good thing for them. They've got to find something. It's been 15 years of mediocrity. So, yeah, I noticed when I was looking at Twitter, looking at the salaries for the SEC coaches and how they ranked, Shane Beaver needs a new agent. Shane Beaver's making $2.75 million. Clark Lee's making $3.7.
Yeah.
Clark Lee's not going to win a conference game his whole time at Vanderbilt. I mean, I realize that it wasn't a huge splash to get Shane Beaver the special teams coach, but at least give me better than what Clark Lee's making over there.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, anytime to me you're an SEC coach in the best conference in the world, you gotta be getting paid more than that. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he to me, good start to the career. Last year. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, to me, that's kind of bad.
Maybe the most important thing. Maybe I don't have to get after the agent just yet. I got to see what the buyout is, because that's honestly more important than the annual salary. Because all these guys are going to get fired eventually. You got to have the big buyout. That's the key. And you heard Ed Ogeron talking to the Little Rock touchdown. You gonna give me all $17 million? All right. Which door do you want me to leave? That's the key as a college football coach.
Yeah.
What is the buyout? So because that's going to inevitably be what your compensation is. So we'll have to see. I don't necessarily need to fire Coach Beamer's agent this very second. All right, last one here. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Cooper Rush says the Cowboys are ready to roll this Sunday against Cincinnati. Gordy's cousin leading the boys to a victory this weekend. Take it or leave it.
I know the good Rush name and the good family line, the good blood in their veins just pumping through. But Cooper, it's going to be a bad day for you Sunday, buddy. I just don't think he's very good. I don't think he's going to lead the Cowboys to anything but an L on Sunday. Let's go, Joey B. Survivor. Need to push his pace, keep this thing going. So, yeah, I'm pounding the Bengals. Let's go, Bengals.
You're thinking Joe B is going to be in a little bit of a bad mood this weekend.
Oh, yeah. I know so, man. I think he's – anytime you sit in your locker for 4 hours with your entire uniform on.
That's kind of a crazy move, quite honestly. Get out of there and grab a shower. Go get something to eat.
Yeah, I know. I think some people could say it's sulking, but I think he just knows how important it is for him to play well, and it just ate him up. So I think there's no way he plays like that.
I mean, look, who am I to criticize Joe B at this point? But, I mean, 4 hours in pads sitting at the locker, you gotta get out of there, man.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm 5 minutes after the game. I'm ready to get a shower. And better yet, 4 hours. So look, I think he was thinking about some stuff. Hopefully, he can apply that to put some pain on the boys this week.
That is it for Take It or Leave It here on this Friday edition of Hunt and Hill. I want to give you one more reminder about our on-air schedule today. Matt Moscone is going to come up after us at 3 o'clock for an after further review. If you're a high school football fan. Kay Wassan, Louisiana Prep preview at 6 o'clock until Catholic High tonight, which will take the airwaves at 6:45 for a 7 o'clock kickoff. When Catholic High finishes up, it'll be Louisiana Prep scoreboard. Kay Wassan and his cast of thousands. They do such a great job with our high school stuff. I think if you don't have a child in high school or you're not in high school, you can kind of lose track of it. But when you're in high school sports, nothing is a bigger deal than what's going on the high school field. And Cade and the whole crew do such a great job breaking down everything that's going on in Baton Rouge. Got some really good teams. Catholic's good. Zachary's really good. U-High's got a good team. So really, really fun in the Baton Rouge area. And Cade and his crew will be coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. When we come back, our final segment of the week, we'll give our pick for LSU and Mississippi State. Don't go anywhere. It's Hunt and Hill.
This week on dropbiscuit.com or wherever you listen to podcasts is our new series, Pops, the Louis Armstrong story. Pops is brought to you by New Orleans & Company. Check out neworleans.com and come visit New Orleans.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah!
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Jimmy Ott, this Sunday, it's our 2022 season debut, Football Sunday. Magnolia Bluffs, Football Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon every Sunday, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
News coming out of New Orleans. Alvin Kamara officially listed as questionable for Sunday's game against Tampa. He did not practice today. He did not practice yesterday, obviously. Paulson Adebo has been ruled out for the game on Sunday. So a little bit of a shorthanded Saints secondary. You're going to have to rely a little bit more on Bradley Roby. And it is a talented crew that Tom Brady's got to throw to out there. Disappointing that Adebo's been missing because he was so good in the preseason and obviously in fall camp. So it's a big hole there.
Yeah, no, it is, and I think for Tom, he understands matchups, and if he finds a guy like Roby out there or something, and he feels like he likes that matchup, he will attack it time and time again. So you really can't have any weak links in the secondary, and that's why I felt so great about the Saints secondary going into this season, because if you could have penciled in Lattimore on the outside and Adebo on the other side, it creates that kind of, I'm not gonna go that far with Daniels Webster situation, but it's something similar to that, because if you got two pillars on the outside, it creates a world of things you can do in the middle of the defense that you can change up and do. And so without that, you got a weakness on the outside. Tom is going to attack that. So let's see how the secondary holds up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of Roby. I'm not sure they want Alontae Taylor out there just yet in that kind of spot. So it'll be a lot of Bradley Roby coming up on Sunday. So Saints and Bucks at noon. We will have it on Eagle 98.1. All right, tomorrow. I can't wait for tonight. Like, it's just Friday night of an SEC game in this town. It's just so much fun. I got family coming in. We're going to have some fun at the house tonight. And you're going to get out to campus tomorrow. Going to be on fire. Should be really, really good weather. Can't wait to get the pregame show cranked up a couple hours before kickoff in Tiger Stadium. Ought to be a lot of fun. If you missed my comment earlier in the show, I talked to Matt House this morning for my interview on the pregame show, and he said, yeah, like the crowd can make a huge difference. You got a veteran quarterback, and we know that. But if you can slow down their verbal signals and make them use hand signals, one, you create a little bit maybe of miscommunication at a certain point, and two, it's going to slow them down and allow you to set your defense and make sure you're ready to roll. So it should be a really good crowd coming up on Saturday night.
Yep, it's a huge factor. And if this is a really, really smart football team, the third factor that people don't take in is that you can start stealing those signals. Take a little baseball flavor. Yeah. You see them doing the same signal too many times.
Bang some trash cans?
Yep. It's totally legal. Hey, it's totally legal in football. Totally legal. But, yeah, I think that's something you could always do. And so, yeah, I think the crowd's going to be electric. Just seeing, watching that COVID gear, then seeing last year towards the back end of that season, it was so refreshing to see, Death Valley Tiger Stadium, the way it was last week against Southern. I think with the SEC play tomorrow, a little buzz in town, I expect a big-time crowd to be in Death Valley.
All right, let's make our pick.
All righty, here. Oh, there you go.
Their fans don't want to be bullied anymore by the heavyweights in this conference, but here comes LSU reloaded and ready. The folks here will try to exercise their vocal cords and their cowbells.
LSU Tigers.
Certainly excited about the opportunity to play an SEC opponent. It's been, obviously everybody's goal to play for an SEC championship, and it starts this weekend.
And the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
I think Mississippi State, the matchup in this game, I think definitely lends itself to the Bulldogs, because what we see from LSU in the only big game they played against Florida State, the offensive line's terrible.
Now, here's Hunt Palmer and Jeremy Hill's final pick.
All right. We've been breaking this game down all week, and I want to continue to do that. We understand what Mississippi State is. They are now in year 3 under Mike Leach, and I went and dug a lot of stats up on Mike Leach quarterbacks, whether it's a first-year guy who's a senior, whether they throw a freshman into the fire, whether it's a guy's third year in the system. All the stats kind of look the same, and that's what you've seen from Will Rogers for 2 years since he took over in the middle of that 2020 season. He's just been steady, and they understand how to run this system. They are clicking on all cylinders. Offensively, they are really, really good there, and that's what Brian Kelly said. This is not a complicated system. They run a few routes, they run them really well, and they execute what they want to do better than you can prepare for it for 3 days. He compared it to the triple option, and that's kind of what it is. And it sounds like a high-flying pass. No, well, they've been unbelievable in terms of time of possession. If you missed these stats earlier in the week, they ranked 2nd in the country in time of possession this season. And since Mike Leach took over in 2020, Mississippi State ranks 6th nationally in time of possession, averaging 34 minutes per game. That's what they want to do. They want to control the football, short passing game, and a lot of teams just drop 8 and try to tackle, and that's obviously what LSU is going to try to do for the majority of the game coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, and I think that's the strategy you have to have. You got to, if you're Matt House, if you're this coaching staff, you got to swallow your pride. I know you got all these fancy blitzes, all these things you put in over the week and over the years that you feel like is a staple of what you want to do, but this is one of those weeks where you got to throw all that out the window. You got to specifically game plan for this Mississippi State offense, and if you can play assignment sound football, we've seen them kick field goals in the red zone. We've seen them kind of have stale drives. We've seen them lose some games. So they're not world beaters. You just got to come out there assignment sound, locked in, ready to play. And if you can do that for 4 quarters, you can win this game.
So you'll see at the running back spot, Jaquavius Marks and Dylan Johnson. Marks has been there for a couple of years now. He catches a lot of footballs on these little angle routes, on the swing routes, on the check downs. That's their running game, is swinging the ball in the flat to Marks. On the outside, it's not an amazing cast of characters, but I have been impressed a little bit on film with Caleb Ducking. He's 6'5", 205 pounds. He leads them in touchdown catches with 3. That's a guy that LSU is going to have to deal with, and they will take some shots. They love throwing the fades in the red zone. That's a staple of Mike Leach's offense. When they get down in there, Crabtree made a living on catching those fades against college cornerbacks, and Ducking is 6'5" and can present some problems there. You're also going to look at Rufus Harvey, who's a smaller 5'10" kind of scat receiver, and then Rock Thomas at 6'2", 200. LSU is going to go into this game with Sevyn Banks. I don't know that he's going to play a ton, but he is going to help with depth, obviously, and you're going to have a lot of that because guys are going to be on the field a lot. But Jark Bernard Converse, Jay Ward coming down into the box, Greg Brooks going back a little bit, and then we'll see once you get on the other corner from Richardson and Gardner and those guys. But you mentioned earlier in the week that you like Jay Ward coming down into the box in this game.
Yeah, I do. I think it's a bigger body that you can put inside the box. That's where he started his career out. That's where I've seen him make his most interceptions. I can't remember the top of my head Jay Ward catching a pick as a deep safety. So I think he's just more comfortable there. He's going to be a lot into more plays. And I think watching last year's game, Cardell Flat had a big-time game. So whoever's in that nickel slot position, you got to play well. You're going to be in the screen game. You got to blow those up. They're going to run a lot of stuff, all those drag routes. You got to make tackles. So I think Jay Ward a lot closer in the box. I like that for this defense.
You're a big recruiting follower. You love Harold Perkins and those 5 stars next to him. I'm fascinated to see how much he plays on Saturday. Brian Kelly said yesterday he is going to play a lot. We know Baskerville's going to be out there a ton. Had the pick 6 last week, loves playing in space. I'm fascinated to see how much they use Perkins in this game.
Yeah, and to me, they kind of had him in that kind of Michael Parsons role for most of the snaps he's played out there. I kind of want to see him at stack. I think this week is a week you're doing that. You could do that, especially with you just having 3 linemen rushing every play, but it's going to be big time. I think anytime you're a young player and you get thrown into SEC action, it's going to be great. You're going to be at home, get that home crowd behind you, and I'm expecting them to have a big-time game and lead the team in tackles.
Last thing on defense before we flip to LSU's offense. We talked about this on Wednesday. It is a frustrating system to play against. It is slow. It is methodical. It is check downs. It is quick slants. You have to tackle. You're out on the field a lot. It's just you have to play your assignments or they will get you because they'll rock you to sleep. mentally LSU has got to be locked in for 4 quarters because they'll get you, and it's just not fun to play against. I likened it to the Princeton offense. In basketball, I likened it to a sinker ball pitcher. In baseball, that doesn't look flashy, but he's just hammering you 91 on the outside corner at the knees, and if you just slap it into the ground, you're going to have a long day. If you don't tackle and you miss your assignments, you're going to have a long day. Mentally, big day for this LSU defense.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. Anytime you're going against a quarterback that has a 78 completion percentage, you got to be locked in and focused. He's not going to make too many bonehead decisions. The ball's going to come out quick, and it's going to be accurate. And he's going to just be a guy that you got to really pay attention and focus on. So, yeah, for this defense, got to stay locked in, feed off this crowd. And I'm looking for the D-line. Ojulari has to have a big-time game. Ali Gay has to have a big-time game. And I think Jaquelin Roy, too. Those guys have to get after Rodgers. If you just let him be a pillar back there, sitting calm and collective, he's got to pick you apart. So let's see this defensive line get after the passer.
And then on the LSU's offensive side, before we make our final picks here, that defensive front for Mississippi State is very good. You'll see Cam Young. You'll see Nathan Pickering, Tyrus Wheat, Jet Johnson. It's a good crew up front. LSU's offensive line's been reshuffled. Hopefully this unit better than we saw against Florida State.
Yeah, they have to be. And I think you move some stuff around that always cause some concern. Anytime you got a guy that played center, now he's playing guard, and you got this guy playing center now, it's just a lot of moving parts. And sometimes, the continuity is just not there. But I think for this offensive line, if they can get a little push in the run game, I think it's going to open the world for this offense. So let's see how they match up. Mississippi State has a good defensive line. Let's see how they match up against those guys.
You got to like the wide receivers for LSU in this game.
Yeah, love them. Love those guys on the outside. I love the difference of what they did last week going into the game. Get your playmakers the ball. Run some double moves on the outside. Get these guys going. Get Kayshawn the ball. I think Kayshawn is the key to get this car started and get this engine started for this offense. I want to see him lead this team in targets and kind of let the other guys kind of follow suit after that. So, yeah, I'm expecting the receivers to continue to dominate.
All right, it is that time. I want your pick and your reasons why. The SEC opener, LSU and Mississippi State tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I wanted to take Mississippi State. I did. I was feeling Rodgers a little bit. I'm like, man, they're going to come into Baton Rouge. But I was like, you know what? Let's go JD5, man. Let's go LSU. Let's go Tigers. I'm going to go LSU 30. I'm going to go Mississippi State 27. I think it's going to be a really, really tight game. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. I got my boy, hitting the field goal to win it all. So give me LSU. I think, Rodgers is going to still have a big-time game, but I think JD5 is going to get going. And with him doing that, I think the Tigers will win.
If this thing comes down to a field goal, nobody in that stadium is going to feel very comfortable about it because Mississippi State's got real issues at kicker, and we don't know about LSU just yet. Didn't go very well in the Superdome. Last week seemed a little bit better, but we shall see. Time for my pick here, and I looked at this a lot of different ways. I was impressed watching Mississippi State in the games that they've played, watching the condensed version against Memphis and against Arizona. I think their quarterback does an awesome job and is super comfortable. I think they know who they are and they know what they want to be. And I think they've got some good players on the outside and some really good players on defense. They have a full-blown identity of what they are and who they want to be. LSU, to this point, I think their main strengths in this game, main matchup advantages, are B.J. Ojulari, Ali Gay, Jaquelin Roy up front against Mississippi State's offensive line, which isn't great. I also worry that Mississippi State can negate that by getting the ball out really, really quick. LSU's strength on the offense side is going to be the wide receivers. I worry that they can't take advantage of that because Mississippi State's defensive line is going to win against LSU's offensive line. I think Mississippi State is better than I thought they were going to be as of 3 weeks ago. I'm not as confident in LSU. I think it's going to be a tough one for LSU tomorrow. I got Mississippi State 30, LSU 20 in this game tomorrow. It will break my heart to watch that. I don't like us losing to Mississippi State, but that's just the way I see it. I think it's going to be tough for LSU to take advantage of its advantages because Mississippi State may be able to neutralize them. I think Mississippi State's got an identity and LSU's working towards that. So I hope I'm wrong. I'll be in there fired up, and I'll eat all the crow you can serve me on Monday if I am, but I got the Bulldogs winning that one. That's going to do it for us here on a Friday. Have an awesome, awesome Friday, and have an awesome, awesome weekend. We will be back on Monday recapping all of it. Brian Kelly's press conference will come at you. Hanny will wrap it up, and we'll be back at 1 o'clock. Have a great weekend. It's Hunting Hill.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance